Yes, people, you're locked into the Trafford Tunnel with your host, Tyrone MC. Big up everyone that's tuned in tonight. It's raining outside, but we're going to bring that entertainment. We're going to get you in that Friday energy, that Friday vibe. But it's going to be mainly big football talk, good football talk, tactics, everything going into Sunday, but also the main one, which is Harry Kane. And should Manchester United be making a bid for the England striker, top goal scorer currently in the Premier League? So people, you're locked into the Trafford Tunnel. Make sure you're smashing that like and subscribe button. I've got a great panel on with me tonight. So less of me talking and let's get straight into the action. Boom. There we go. 20 times. Hopefully soon that's 21. But people, yes, like I said, it's Thursday night. You tuned in with Tyrone at Channel Trafford Tunnel. You can find us also at Never a Foul on Twitter, on YouTube. Smashing that like and subscribe button, and also on Instagram, Trafford Tunnel, and also Never a Foul Media as well. Always uploading content daily. But guys, thank you for joining me. Like I always say, every time I start a show, without the guests, it's not a show. Without the people in the comments, it's never a show. So make sure you smash that like and subscribe button and get your comments in. I'll always make sure I read them out as well, because you guys are just as important. So I'm going to do my little around the clock. We've got Sarfo 15. We're going to call him 15 tonight. He's in the top right. He's in the box seat tonight. no pressure. 15. How you doing, man? Obviously you're regular. You've been on enough times, and I like that you've got a trim for me. So thank you.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Good week so far?
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been good.
Yeah, I know the weather's not good, but we've got to bring that sunshine for the people tonight, man. Yeah. So hopefully it's good. And you know what? I'm excited to get Was on because, Mr. United Analytics, I think he actually should be working for Man United in the analytics, to be honest. If you're watching Man United, you never know. Get him involved, man. But no, it's brilliant to have Was on. We've been talking for a while now about getting him on the show, and it's all about the timing. And I think the timing tonight is perfect, especially with the Harry Kane topic. Obviously, we've got Martial as well, who I know he's a fan of, and we're going into a big game on Sunday before the Europa League final. So, Was, first of all, thanks for coming on. Plug all your stuff. Tell the people where they can find you. And first of all, I hope you had a good week as well.
Yeah, mate, it's been all right week. Just the weather is up and down, isn't it? Thanks for welcoming me on. I'm on Twitter with United Analytics, so you can find me there. But yeah, let's make it a good show. That's what I'm after.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. You're here to talk football, and that's what you love doing, man. People, like I said, if you can smash the like and subscribe button, you can make sure you're following Sarfo 15, United Analytics, and then my little brother, but on podcast, but really he's my big brother. We're like family, man. I love Semps. Actually, wait. Rewind. How could I call him little brother? Sorry, like that's just disrespect. Wait,
no,
Usman, Jerry, if you want to watch this,
I'll take it. Don't.
Usman, Jerry, and I are watching this. Do not click. Wait, rewind that. That should not be the case. I got a lot of love for Semps, man. One of the first guys, obviously, I connected with when we started doing the podcast. Brought me on views as well. Done podcasts on Trafford Tunnel. Also connected through Usman. It was kind of crazy, actually, because when we first done our pod, we started speaking, and then it was on 3 shows in the same week. And we're like, what's back
to back. Yeah, it was
like back to back, man. Yeah, we could have spat a freestyle on that one, but no, honestly, it's brilliant to get you on. How are you doing? First of all, Sem, shout out all your stuff with Views TV. It's great what you're doing, and I'm delighted to get you on this show, Mike. I think it's gonna be a great one with the panel I got.
Yeah, man. No, I'm honored as always. Whenever I get asked to be on any show, it's an honor, and I'm seeing the people that I'm with today. Was and 15 and yourself. It's an honor, man, and I'm looking forward to it. I've wanted to connect with 15 for a little while, and also
you've been on to me about it.
Yeah, man. I wanted to connect with him, man, and obviously Was, me and him have chopped it up enough times on Twitter. So man, looking forward to this. I've had a good week so far. Can't complain. I'm still alive, so I'm happy. Them one day.
Exactly, man. You're healthy, and the camera's looking clear as well. Look at that, man. Glistening.
Right, new settings. I'm trying something new today. I need to, trying the thing.
No, it's working. But now, guys, thank you for introducing yourself. Like I said, make sure you're following all their platforms, people. We're one big United family. We talk football, and we're going to come with a good discussion tonight. So let me just get through a couple comments, and we'll get into the Harry Kane talk. It's the one that's going around the world and around the Premier League at the moment. So got Manuel Banny saying hi. Got my boy Claudia. Big up yourself, Cloud. Big up. He's a Chelsea fan. He's even saying big up the United boys. Hope you're supporting us come next Saturday. I don't know about that. You guys, are you Chelsea or City next week?
I'm not watching it.
Cardiff City win Champions League, man. No chance.
You can't see it. Was is not having it. And what about you, Semps?
Me, I'm just a little bit like I don't want none of them to win it. Do you know what I
The
mean?
Europa
So,
League's a better final anyway.
yeah,
There we
yeah, it's a little bit
love
peak.
that, love that. And we've got Rio Mark saying, yes, lads, hopefully next week at 10:30 we see some fireworks and confetti. Fingers crossed, and Claudio's cracking up there. Love that. Big up your support, Cloud. Hope you're having a good evening as well. So guys, yeah, let's get straight into the action, man. Harry Kane. Obviously, I think actually, to be fair, with the Harry Kane news, more's come out today, which I'm kind of glad we're doing a podcast today because he's done his interview with Gary Neville, which the timing is a bit suspect, if I'm honest. I know Harry Kane's brother is his agent and obviously would be patterning up a few things, but the way the interview's been dropped today and obviously the reports yesterday or 2 days ago coming out from Sky Sports that Harry Kane wants to leave the club, obviously that's just going to naturally spark interest worldwide, really. PSG, Real Madrid, the teams that have got money, Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea now, they're all going to be looking and sniffing. So, yeah, Harry Kane top goal at the moment this year, 22 goals in the Premier League, joint with Mo Salah. What I'll do before I mix it up and start changing the angles, I'm just going to go around first. I'll come to 15. Harry Kane, obviously you're Tottenham boy up in yourself. Obviously, you support the right club though. But yeah, these reports of him wanting to leave, and where do you think this leaves Manchester United, and what do you want to see us do in this transfer window with him?
Okay, regarding him. So when the news first dropped here, it was just like, shit, like, wow, Harry Kane, he could be on the move and whatnot. But then, like, after like 2 minutes, like, the jubilation kind of died when you realize like his contract ends in 2024. So when you when you actually think about that, Spurs have so much leverage, like, so they can demand 150 mil, or they can just with Daniel Levy can just be like, run down your contract. It's fine. You'll be 30 by the time you run down your contract. So Spurs are in such a position of power, like they can dictate the shots. They can tell us how much they want for him. And I don't really feel like Daniel Levy's sort of under much pressure, just because I feel like he holds all the cards. In regards to United, of course, like when you watch Man United over the past few years, you always feel like they've got like the iconic top English striker, and it's usually like a good marriage. Like, do you know what I mean? You look back at like sort of like Rooney. Obviously Andy Cole wasn't capped.
Yeah, I know what you mean in too
Andy
much.
Cole wasn't capped many times for England, but do you know what I mean? Like we always had like there's always seemed to be some sort of like marriage between like the top English striker and Man United. So I feel like Harry Kane's a good fit. Do I see us going for him this season? Oh, well, in the summer. It's weird because if Cavani didn't sign that extension, I would have been like, yeah, we're definitely going to move for him. But I feel like the timing of Kane's announcement and the whole Cavani thing, United might just use the line that, oh, we've got Cavani, and like if the opportunity presents itself, like we may move for him, but we're not like desperately in need of him. But I think the most plausible option might be if he stays another year.
Yeah, you're on my wave. Yeah, that's exactly what.
If he stays another year, obviously the market fixes up, like fans back in, the revenue fixes up.
Yeah,
we'll be more. I think it'll be more open to spend sort of that huge amount of money that Spurs demand. Also, I think like his value might drop after a year as well. So do you know what I mean? It kind of like, meets in the middle. Yeah, like a little bit
look
of
at
a
him now,
compromise.
like as a striker, like 27 is prime years, like 27 to 30 is sort of your prime years, and he's into that now.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, Spurs have got a bargaining chip. He's got 3 years left on his deal, so they're comfortable. I don't think Levy's actually under full pressure to sell. It's not like he's going to go and strike and not play. Kane he wants to go because it's not that he wants to leave Spurs. It's just Spurs are not in a position that he wants to be in at 27, challenging for trophies, being in the Champions League, playing the biggest games. It's nothing to do with Spurs. It's just where they're at as a club right now.
And I don't feel like there's not much. I don't think there's much Spurs can do to change his mind. Like unless they go and win the treble like next year, which is not happening. But
not happening.
I think once his mind's set, it's set. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, great comments as well. And Was, obviously it's great to have you on the show. Like I said, make sure people are following United_analytics. First time on the Trafford Tunnel. I know you're probably going to have a lot to say on Kane, maybe his style of play even for the club, how much we're going to spend if we went for him, and whether you think he actually should come in as someone we should make a bid. What's your generic thoughts on Harry Kane and the situation he's in at the moment?
generally, I'm not surprised he wants to leave the club. He's obviously looking at rival players and them winning trophies and so on. He's even looking at Leicester winning the FA Cup and so on, and he's not
Yeah,
got anything at Tottenham. As a player himself, obviously he's a top player, top striker, and his style of play, I do believe it would suit Man United because Harry Kane, he could both play as a number 9 and he can even drop in. And the way Bruno Fernandes plays, Bruno Fernandes normally he runs beyond the striker, so that
yeah,
dynamic of Harry Kane dropping and Fernandes pushing on, that would work as well. But it all boils down to the price tag basically. I think Harry Kane himself was naive signing like a 6-year deal like a couple of years ago. It put him on the back foot. If he had a 3-year deal, then he would have able to wind it down himself. But now Tottenham obviously got the leverage, as Mark mentioned. So with Kane, as a United fan, of course you love Harry Kane at your club, and number 9, traditional number 9. Well, not traditional number 9, but that number 9 that we crave. And with Mark mentioning that we've always signed the best British players, from Rio Ferdinand to Michael Carrick, always from Dennis Irwin to Wayne Rooney. We've always gone for it. Like ideally, that's what I'd love to see at Man United. But our problems in our team, I think, as most United fans know, it is elsewhere at the moment.
it's deeper than it's much more deeper than Kane. Like even if you sign Kane though, when you talk about Kane and you think that it would work for him dropping into them little pockets of Bruno, obviously advancing and making them sort of like third man runs, you should say. I was watching Kane yesterday, and I'm not saying obviously I'm going to judge him on that performance because he's top goal scorer. His record speaks for itself in the Premier League, but I look at him, and the only one worry for me is he's not slow, but when he drops into them pockets, I don't find that he gets himself back up the pitch quick enough, right? So, for example, I know people are going to come on to me and now say about Martial, right? But when Martial plays well, like he did against City, and he drops into them pockets, he's got that like burst of speed to get back into them attacking roles, and that's the only thing that worries me with Kane. Or do you feel like if we actually did buy Kane, would we change it systematically where we'd have maybe a Rashford or Martial or Greenwood sort of doing the Son and Bergwijn role where they're bombing past him? Is that how you envisage him playing if he come to United?
Yeah, it depends if we sign a Sancho, for example. If we signed a Sancho, for example, you want Kane on the shoulder because you want Kane to finish the crosses and the passes that Sancho plays. But if Sancho's not there, we've got, for example, Greenwood and Rashford. They're inverted strikers or inverted wingers, as you call them. So then you would want Kane to drop in to play the balls into Rashford and Greenwood and so on. So yeah, but ultimately, I think the price tag will be out of United's range. And even if United could sign him, I think it'll blow the whole budget. And I think ideally, with our team, obviously we love Harry Kane to join United, but I think obviously centre back and defensive midfield, I think we need to address those positions first.
Yeah, 100%. Now we're going to come to that definitely. Just a few comments to get through as well. Big up Josh as well. Evening, lads. Like Dap says here, yeah, he wants to win trophies. Guess the only club he's going to is Manchester City by choice. Daps, I'm not comparing Kane to Martial because obviously they're completely different players, but I'm just talking about when Kane drops in the pockets, bursting back into them sort of gaps. You know what he's like, Seps. You know Daps is going to be on me, but you got to take it. Big up pros only as well. Says big up the man, then big up yourself, Roland, every single time. Let me just block these comments here. But yeah, Sems, obviously over to you. In regards to obviously Kane, I know you're a fan of Kane in terms of him and his goal scoring record, but like Was and Mark said, he's going to cost 120 million minimum. We need to invest in other areas. So do we go and get Kane for 120 million, but then know that we've got risks of not signing them other areas that we need to invest in? Because it's imperative. I think if we go as a club, we need to invest in them other areas. So what would you like to see? Or would you like him to stay at Spurs and maybe we go from next summer? What's your stance on this situation right now?
Well, I've been having bare conversations about this. Shout out to Pat. Me and Pat have been talking a lot.
Yeah, big up Patrick.
Pat is in the mud right now. I'd just like to say that he's leaving me 10-minute voice notes, 12-minute voice notes. It's getting peak right now, people. But one thing,
can you just tell him kindly, by the way, if he wants to come over and support United, we'll welcome him on the Trafford tunnel.
Trust me, I'll welcome him, man. Yeah, I'll let him know. But I didn't realize until speaking to Pat that he did sign this 6-year deal, and as what the guys have said, I don't think he's going this summer. He's not gonna go because the money. We all know Levy. One thing about Levy, we all know is he's a shrewd businessman, and he is not going to let Harry Kane go when he's got 3 years left on his contract for anything less than your 120s to 150 mil. Now, in fantasy football and, you know, in that world, we would love to have Harry Kane and for our board to go and get him. But the reality of the situation is we know we're not going to part with that type of cash and invest in other areas. And, you know, Ty, me and you have been on a few shows. You know my stance on attacking. For me, our issues lie in other areas.
Yeah.
You know, not in striker. You know, so I would like us to go and invest in those areas. Invest in your Jadon Sancho. Invest in your DM, whether it's a Declan Rice or whatever. Me personally, I still want a centre back. I don't think we're going to get one now since Bailly signed his new contract. But I would like us to go and get a top centre back to come in and play. But yeah, Harry Kane needs to leave. He needs to leave Spurs, and he will leave Spurs. I just don't think it will be now. But
do you feel like the Aston Villa game was sort of the icing on the cake for him? There's that video going around circulating of him sort of like maybe effing and blinding to himself or whatever they're trying to, you know, quote it. But do you think that game against Villa was kind of like, do you know what, my time's up here?
No, I think that he knows the time's up from before then. I think when Jose Mourinho got sacked and they didn't win the final, that's probably when he realized, because I guess he wanted to give it one last shot. With Jose Mourinho coming in, I don't rate Jose Mourinho, but everybody, you know, he has won trophies in the past. He wins trophies wherever he goes. They're probably thinking it's going to happen now. Harry Kane's thinking it's going to happen. And where it didn't happen there, he's thinking, Jesus Christ. You know, he's seen Eriksen go to Inter Milan, win the title. Trippier maybe about to win the La Liga with Atletico Madrid. And yet he's the best player he's the best English player. And yet he still can't show no trophies.
It's mad though, because he's still like, I know as much as he wants to win trophies, and obviously if he goes to Man City or United, he's probably got a better chance of winning trophies. Of course, City's probably guaranteed trophies. That's the club he's guaranteed them at. But Kane has still had chances to win trophies. People forget, obviously, he played in the Champions League final, didn't quite turn up. Played in the League Cup final, yes, maybe half fit, still didn't really turn up. And he played in the League Cup final when they got done by Chelsea, I believe, in Pochettino's first season, 2-0, if I'm wrong. But yeah, 2-0. So he's still, it was 2-0, I believe. So he still had like opportunity.
He didn't pass to Sterling, did he?
Yeah.
Which you'll never forget.
But what I would say is, though, to that is like, he's not Ronaldo or Messi. Yeah, Ronaldo and Messi are winning these type of games on their own. Harry Kane, it's still a team game, and he shouldn't have played in the Champions League final. He wasn't fit. He got rushed back. And that's a fault of the manager, and the team didn't perform. It's not like I think that the blame could go on Harry Kane if he had chances and he was missing them. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't recall him missing chances. It just they didn't play well in the Champions League final. In the Carabao Cup final the other day, they just weren't in the game from minute one. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's very hard when the rest of your teammates, as a collective, you're not playing well. Yeah. So it's very hard for him. He's not a player like Hazard, for example, who's going to beat 3 or 4 men and then put one top in when he was at Chelsea. Not now, but when he was at Chelsea. When you're that type of player, you can do that. But when you're a Harry Kane type of player, you need your teammates around you. And or he can try and drag his teammates, but those teammates that he has at Tottenham ain't the right fit. So, you know, I think for him, I'm a big fan of Harry Kane. I think when you look at players like Gerrard, who stayed at Liverpool, didn't win the Premier League. When you look at Shearer, that stayed at Newcastle. But these players, Shearer still won the Premier League. Gerrard still won Champions Leagues and League Cups and all of that stuff. Harry Kane has nothing. Do you know what I'm saying?
And this on 28 in July.
He has nothing. So I think it's inevitable now. I'll wrap this up. I think it's inevitable that he will leave Spurs. I just don't think it will be now based on what the gentleman said before regarding the price tag.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because look at I've got a comment here. Big up, Josh. People, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Get your comments in as well. It's brilliant. But I was thinking of Greenwood there, so I said brilliant. I might use that one in the future. But this comment here from Josh. I'll come to you, Was. Can we afford for Kane to go to City? And my perspective on that is Manchester United, we've seen it with Sanchez. We've seen it with Maguire. We've seen it with players in the past, so it's not something that's new. It's something that's been done. Whether it's worked out or not, we still don't know. If Maguire, Sanchez, it didn't work out. But Fred, another one. City were looking for him. We got Fred as well. So we know Man City need a striker. The number 10 shirt's going to come vacant with Aguero going. I feel like Man City, in terms of squad, have got the depth now. So they could go into this summer and probably invest in 2 players. They could get a left back and maybe a striker and still be strong next season. So they've got that kitty to say, right, do you know what? Maybe for once in our lives, we're going to spend 120 million and get that killer striker. Can we afford for him to go City? And do you think that will play a persuasion in Manchester United making a bid?
Manchester United need to concentrate on Manchester United. That's what Manchester United needs to do. Of course, we can't stop players from going to different clubs wherever they want to go. Kane ideally probably will go City. He's going to score 40 Premier League goals with the chances they create with De Bruyne one side, Foden another year better, and so on. But United need to address United's problems. For example, when we signed Sanchez, I'm sure Martial was in a good spell of form at that time. And he
won 3 out of 5.
He was. Yeah, there you go. He was.
He was developing nicely, and then we got Sanchez, and then we just ruined that fluidity up front and so on. United, all of the fans, we're not stupid. We need a dominant centre back. We need a defensive midfielder who can take the ball off the back four, who can retain possession. Because United have no controls in football games. The other day we were playing Fulham, we couldn't control a football match against Fulham. So United need to focus on United, and then everything else will sort itself.
Yeah, perfect. I think he summed it up great there. And even a comment here from Pros Only, having Kane is the icing on the cake for a team, for a squad that is nearly complete. And unfortunately, we'll all echo it. Like you said, we need a DM, we need a right back competition for Wan-Bissaka, we need a centre back. We're not that team yet. I know we've got Fergie Time TV. Big up yourself, Cass and Fred. I know I like Fred personally. I just think obviously he gets a bit scapegoated. But another one we did get from City, where City were looking for him. Big up my co-host as well, our business. Yes, man, them. And then we've got that is very good, Was, and I got Semps. He wants to back him up with that one. Go ahead, Semps.
I agree with what Was was saying, but just a little caveat is that if City do get Harry Kane, then we are not winning the league for a very long time. They are going to dominate. Even if we focus on Manchester United, I don't see how we catch City if they then go and add a Harry Kane to that squad. That's what I think. I don't know what the gentlemen think about that, but I just think that I don't know how we bridge the gap when they then go and get Harry Kane. They already have Pep. They already have all of the players that they have, and I just think we're so far behind that, man.
Yeah, no, great question there, Josh. 15. What do you think on all this, man? Because City,
I agree, but then it's just like what I said. There's been too many times where we've watched like City and other teams around us, and we've panicked, and it hasn't worked out to the detriment of the players. So I feel like what we've got to do, like what I said, is we've got to recruit shrewdly and sort of target the areas that we know we need to improve. Because I feel like if we do get Harry Kane, we're going to be stuck with McFred for about a couple more years. And I'm not,
no.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's like I don't think. Like obviously you bring in Harry Kane, but the problem still persists. So we end up like winning games like 6-3, or do you know what I mean? Like it's still going to be like a massive problem. Like, so I feel like what United needs to do is recruit shrewdly, sensibly as well. And I feel like under Ole, for like the first time in a long time, like there seems to be like a recruitment strategy. So before, under previous managers, it was sort of like spontaneous, but I feel like now with Ole and obviously people in and around him, they have a profile of players they want to bring in, and I feel like regardless of like whoever is on the market, they're going to stick to it. So I just feel like we just need to be sensible in what we do.
Do you think that's only because John Murtagh and Darren Fletcher have come into play, or do you think Ole identified that before they were put into their position and power, position roles at Manchester United?
I think Ole probably identified that before. I think those guys will help, but I feel like that's been I think that's been identified before, because I feel like with Ole, unlike other managers, he will do what's best for the club, not what's best for him, but just like long term, what's best for the club. Because there's been times with other managers where we've tried to take shortcuts, and it hasn't worked out, and it set us back like 2 or 3 years. I feel like this time round, it may, even if we don't win a title this year, it's the things we're doing is to build a foundation to win a title sometime in the near future. And I feel like if we carry on building sensibly, then there's no reason why we can't win it. But obviously, Harry Kane throws a spanner in the works. But I do feel like we just need to concentrate on ourselves, like Wes said.
Yeah, I think that is very true. I think we've got to learn from the mistakes we've made in the transfer window, and I think Manchester United, if we're honest, like I always say in every podcast, I didn't expect us to finish second this year, which I'm not going to say is a great achievement, but it's a good achievement because we didn't expect to. We've guaranteed top 4 for the first time, I think, back-to-back years since Fergie's left. I think on Kane, for me, I think he kind of shot him in the foot, signing a 6-year deal. Yes, I understand. He signed a 6-year deal, I believe, when they were runners-up in the Champions League, if I'm right.
2018.
Poch was there and everything, innit?
Yeah, Poch was there. And I think that was kind of like they were getting in the top 4. I felt that Kane must have thought then, we're going to kick on now. We're getting into the Champions League final and we've got Poch and we haven't yet got the best squad. We've got a new stadium as well, which we know is a massive part. They expected big funding from the NFL and all that coming in. Unfortunately, that's not happened yet. So I feel like Kane was looking at the bigger picture and right, I'm going to secure myself for 6 years. Unfortunately, that's not happening. Big up Pro, he says, yeah, in 2018, 3 years now or later, and it's not quite happened. And now he's kind of stuck in the mud because yes, he wants to leave, but the club don't need to sell him. Personally, I don't think that we need to buy Kane this summer. I'm with 15. As soon as he said, I think Kane stays for another year. We've got Edison Cavani for 1 year, and it's a perfect transaction. We invest in the 3 or 4 areas we need this summer. Cavani goes. And then if we have that like City sort of structure where we've got a bit more of a squad, we could say next year, right, he's 28 now, might have a couple more niggles. He's got 2 years left on his deal by then. We'll give you 100 million or 95, say 100 million. We can afford to do that because we've invested in the other areas. So for me, I feel like Sancho, which I'm going to come to now, is the imperative signing. I feel like Kane is there. If he goes to City, so be it. We have to compete. But we've got Martial coming back, who I know got 24 goals last season. Yes, he's got 4 league goals this season, but he can bounce back. He's 25. We've got Rashford, Greenwood, Diallo, Cavani, and then let's throw in Diallo for now because he's got to pick up experience, but he's got that kind of wildcard factor. We can see what he can bring. Pogba, he's not a left winger, as in our attack. So let's put him back into the midfield. We've got 6 attackers there. We signed Sancho. That gives us dynamic fluidity for me. I think we're lacking in the wide areas. I think we saw it against Fulham. For me, I was crying out for a winger. We've seen it many times. End product. Sancho has just got Borussia Dortmund into the Champions League. It's a no-brainer. He's come back from injury. He scored the winner against Leipzig on the Saturday, played them in the cup final again and scored 2 or scored and set up a goal. For me, he guarantees Manchester United 20 goals and assists. And then we go back to last season. Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial. 59 goals or 57 goals between them. Chuck Sancho in there with Diallo. Do you know what I mean? And I think, and Cavani now. We've got goals in there. So we've got other areas we need to prioritize. So for me, Sancho is the must-buy in that right wing role. If you could, I'll go to you, Semps, first on this one. If we talk about signings now, because I'm going to get a few comments up. I've got a big up Fergie time. So we need to go out and grab out main targets. Sancho, a DM, a centre-back with funds we already have. Then maybe go for Kane, like we said, next year if we generate sales and so forth. What's your priority in terms of signings? Yes, we know we need a DM, a right back for Wan-Bissaka. We need a centre-back and a right winger. What do you want to see if you could put them in 1 to 4 in category of what you want first?
I would say I think the DM position for me is the priority because I need to, and I don't need to see McFred next season. I can't deal with McFred. Like literally, I'm watching the game and I'm getting so frustrated that these two men are just there, just doing nothing. And don't get me wrong, I was proper praising Fred, and I still rate what Fred brings to the team. But in that McFred partnership, it just doesn't work because they're both just not good enough on the ball. They don't operate offensively and even defensively as well. They're not the greatest. So for me, I need to see a DM coming. That would be a priority. But what we need to do is we can't go into this window and say we're just going to focus on one area. We have to focus on the right wing as well. So that would be my second one. We have to get Sancho. He wants to come to us. And as I said the other day, boy, Sancho is just doing bits. Sancho's just doing Sancho things. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what he does. He gets goals and he gets assists. He impacts football matches, and that's what we need. That is what we need. So even if we came out of the next window and it was only those two players, don't get me wrong, I want more, but I would be content. I would be content. I think that we could then go into the following season and we can give it a real go with those two additions. So those are my two priority areas. And like what my man just said in the comment as well, the centre back. But I really don't believe we're going to get a centre back now, because I'm just thinking, you know, Bailly signed a new contract. That to me was a bit of a weird one.
Okay, right. We've got, just quickly, because I don't want to talk about Bailly too much, but we've got Maguire injured at the moment. Might not make it back for the final. Lindelof's guaranteed to start, right? Against Liverpool, Bailly started. Twanzebe come in the other day. For me, if Bailly doesn't start that final, if Maguire's not fit, he's going to be sitting there like, why the F did I sign that contract if Twanzebe's playing over me? That's all I've got to say. And that's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, he will play the final. Bailly will play the final.
If he's fit.
Okay.
If he's fit.
If he's fit.
You know he's the type of person to just fall down the stairs tomorrow and he's out the final.
No, you'll see from the team when we discuss it later on anyway. But we need to wrap Bailly up in cotton wool. But like he was complaining about not getting first team football, wasn't he? This is what I'm saying. And then now you've gone and signed a new deal. So to me, there has to be some sort of conversations where the gaffer has said that he's going to get more game time. Now, if we then go and sign another centre back, we're not just signing a fit-in centre back. We'll have to sign a centre back, starting centre back. Maguire's the captain. So how the hell does Bailly fit in there? So that's why when I see him sign a new deal, I'm thinking to myself,
that's the centre back shored up. Yeah,
I don't think we're getting no centre back.
Okay, now, great comments. Was, what do you think with your priorities? Let's say United, let's go hypothetically, we sign 3 players. We're not going to go a window and sign 5. But what's your priority 1 to 3? And also, I've never had you on before, but with the DM, me and Semps, we've had multiple conversations about players that we'd want for that role. I'm very interested to see who you would like as a DM, especially doing analytics of how we play and seeing McFred.
Right, so my priority is same as Semps, is a defensive midfield. Defensive midfielder. I believe Ollie next season will continue with a 4-2-3-1. I know ideally fans want to see this Declan Rice pivot with Fernandes and Pogba alongside Declan Rice. It's not happening under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's going to continue with the 4-2-3-1. It's what he did at his previous club as well, at Molde. So yeah, priority is a defensive midfielder. And I also feel that regarding goals, if Pogba does play on the left and he has a full season on the left, he's going to create loads of goal chances and score goals.
So you like him on the left?
I'd utilize him on the left because I believe next season Fred and McTominay are going to stay in the team. One of them going to stay. I think it's going to be Fred that's going to stay, and it's going to be a partner alongside Fred, and that's how I do it personally as well, to be honest. And then
so you want Fred in there with Fernandes. So Fernandes in the 10, Fred in the pivot with who would be your ideal player?
You might not like my mine's Basuma.
Okay. No. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'll take that.
Because I think with
but does he tell? Okay, do you think he takes United to that next level then? Because this is centre midfield. This is an important role.
With obviously people are making the comparisons between Basuma and Declan Rice. Declan Rice, because we've got Fred, we've got to understand the dynamics of Fred. Fred is going to win the ball back quite often. If we want Fred to just do his role, he's on like top 7 in terms of the most tackles won in the Premier League. So if he does his role isolated in his role, he'd be okay in terms of winning the ball back, energy, pressing,
giving it. Yep.
Yeah, and then we got Basuma, and then if we had Rice there, you think is it a bit too not same, but like is it a bit too defensive? Then we got Basuma. I've seen Basuma. I've seen him as a single pivot and I've seen him as a double pivot. I prefer him more in that double pivot because he can advance from that role as well, and he's very comfortable on the ball in a deep.
Yeah, he's a ball carrier. He can actually progress with the ball. We don't have enough of that.
So I think as in progressing with the ball, I think he's better in that position. And obviously with the centre back would be another priority on the list as second, and then a right winger. But I think defensive. I don't think people should underestimate the the role a top defensive midfielder can do or a top player in that position can do. I think Basuma is one of the best in the Premier League in terms of what he offers in that role. So I'd go with Basuma, and I feel the team as a whole will be able to push up as well. And if your team's pushed up, you're going to create more chances, you're going to score more goals, as you see with Man City weekly. You dominate the ball, you're going to concede less because you've got the ball, and so on and so on.
Do you know what? I really like that tip. When I actually think about it now with what you say about Fred, and I said this to 15 a lot. I know people get onto McFred, but if I had a choice, I'd definitely keep Fred, because I've always said that United need that mobile player now. He's got that tenacity and just gets about a pitch, and he's like that fly in the room. You just can't catch, but he's everywhere. I know sometimes he gets caught out, but if you have the right partner next to him, we can do well. And I think Basuma, I can understand where you're going with that, because he's a ball like Fred. He's not the type that's going to dribble past a few man. He is the type that's going to sort of have the ball, and I feel like he keeps it for 3 seconds and he gives it. He's not that calming influence, whereas I do feel Basuma can get on the ball and play it left, play it right, and progress through the pitch, a bit like how Kovacic breaks the lines. So also with budget, when you look at Basuma, guys, 35 million we probably can get him for. So it'll be interesting to see if Ollie takes that approach and go for him. I know Arsenal have been licked, but we haven't. But yeah, I can see where you're definitely going with a Basuma shout. And in regards to a comment here, Mark, I was actually going to ask you about it, but Formula One TV, big up Josh, has got onto this for me. So the thoughts on the Getafe DM. I know you've been doing a little bit of, like, obviously you haven't watched him enough. I know we haven't been able to watch La Liga too much this season, but strong links, 25 million, Amarabi, Uruguayan international, I believe. Is it him would you would like, or are you liking Basuma shout from WAS? And what's your priority in terms of signings?
I haven't seen Aaron Barry, but listen, I'll take a shot in the dark than stick with McFred. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, I've had enough, man. Like I tweeted the other day, like, I just don't want to complain about it no more, because there's only so much complaining you can do, and like it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. So Aaron Barry, they're saying between 15 and 20 million euros or whatever. So I feel like if that's the one, if it doesn't go the way we want, then it's not like a big deal. Like 15 million, you can recoup that. However, if it's the right one, then it will be seen as shrewd. But like what I said, if we get a DM or whatever, like, I do feel like Fred's gonna be the one that stays in there. And I do feel that Pogba may stay out wide, which leaves a question mark over someone like Rashford or Greenwood or whoever. But
Rashford's in trouble. We'll get to it on another show. But
these are like good headaches, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we definitely do need a defensive midfielder. If whether Aaron Barry is the right one, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen.
Would you take Basuma?
Yeah, 100%. 100% will take him. But
Really?
yeah, I would roll the dice on Aaron Barry just because.
Premier League experience is quite key, don't you think?
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
the experience in the Premier League, I think, for a DM role or the central midfield role is quite important. I think.
Nah, I don't think. I don't think so.
You don't think
Just
so?
Because I feel like you can't put a cap on quality. If you're good, you're going to be good. I reckon what the only problem is how they're incorporated into the team. So, for instance, if they're in a system where sort of like it's well drilled, then I expect them to shine. But I feel like, say for instance, if you get someone like Rice, just because he played in the Premier League, he can still struggle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want Rice.
Yeah. So I don't really feel like Premier League experience is required. I just feel like he's just got to be able to be of a certain standard to do what we're asking for.
If just throwing a name out there randomly, because I know there's Basuma, there's Rice, there's been Ndidi. I'm a big fan of Marco Verratti. I know we probably would never go for it. But when we played at Old Trafford 2 years ago, I think in the away when they beat us, like this is before we beat them. He was controlling the things, picking up the ball from the centre back, and I was like, "Oh, Verratti, he's just class." I think he's so underrated.
He was even mental when I think PSG beat us at Old Trafford, and I think he was like half fit. I think Pogba got sent off. I think Pogba got sent off in that game. I can't remember, but like that is like the type of profile that we need. Someone that's just comfortable on
Yeah,
the ball.
but why are we
Exactly.
not linked? I'm seeing Chelsea linked to him. Why are we not linked to someone like Marco Verratti? Why are our scouts not looking at these type of?
I just don't think he's someone that they feel is sort of like attainable. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's one of those like crazy transfers that just wouldn't happen. But we need a DM, man. We really do need. I feel like a DM takes us so much levels, like
Yeah.
proper levels. Like you just look what someone like Fabinho has done for like Liverpool.
Yeah, and we missed out on him as well.
And that was the same summer that we signed Matic.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Matic, I don't think he's even had a good season for us. I mean, he's had
No,
a,
I don't
he
Yeah, he
hasn't had a
hasn't.
good
I think
season
he's
for us.
done. I see him going to Roma. To be fair, even a couple comments here. Locatelli links as well. Obviously, Sassuolo midfielder. The DM needs to be technically good on the ball. I think 100% we need that. We have no ball retention in the side, like Was said earlier. It's literally get it and where can I get rid of it?
Yeah.
We don't want that. We need that Carrick sort of impression where we can just say, right, 93rd minute or 88th minute, we're 2-1 up. Can we control the game? In-game management.
And this is what I was saying in the group the other day, Ty. Like, am I being overcritical to expect us at home in front of the fans, that fans ain't been there for a hot minute, playing against Fulham, being 1-0 up, Fulham are getting beaten week in and week out? Am I being too overcritical to expect us to be able to hold the ball? Do you know what I'm saying? And this has been our problem all season, is that, and Was said it earlier, is we do not control football matches. That is our problem. And I said it as well, it's not sustainable. When we was top over after Christmas and we won all of those games, Leicester, Villa, can't remember who the other one was, Wolves.
Yeah.
We weren't controlling those football matches.
No.
Those wins could easily have been draws or L's. And I was saying that it's not sustainable long term. And this is the problem that I feel we have. And the problem with McFred is that they can't control, and this is why I agree. That's why I said this is my number one. We need a midfielder that is comfortable on the ball and is not afraid to hold the ball in tight spaces, be calm, but not get caught on the ball like Fred does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's imperative. Go on, 15.
There was like one game in particular. Yeah, it wasn't a Man United game. It was like a Chelsea game. Chelsea against Palace, and Palace were battering Chelsea. And I think Jorginho came on.
Yeah.
And the moment he came, I think he played like 2 or 3 passes, and then the tide just turned completely. Like from that moment, Jorginho touched the ball. Like Chelsea were in control the whole game. I think Chelsea went on to win the game, but that is something that we need, and I feel like it's something that we've let for so long. I mean, if you look at the Everton game where we drew 3-3, the moment Paul Pogba went off, we lost so much control of that game. And I don't like speaking on Fred. I don't think there's been a game where he's come off the bench or like Tomlin's come off the bench and they've had good cameos. Like when they're trying to see out games, it's like whenever they come on, it's just more panic, and we just need someone that's just.
I think that's a great example, by the way, because I remember that game was the back end of last season, I believe.
Yeah,
and it was 3-2 or something.
Something like that,
And it was at Selhurst Park, and literally Jorginho came on and he just changed the game completely. And I think that just shows what a calming influence can bring. I think this DM role is not about signing a DM, it's about getting it right. And if Manchester United get it wrong, we're then going to be in that position of, right, we need to get rid of that player and then bring another one in. And you know what I'm worried about? And I'm going to be totally honest. When Was and you guys were talking about strikers earlier, we signed the best English players or best English attackers. I feel like just because Declan Rice is English and, he's played all right for West Ham, I can see us going for Declan Rice and we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot, because when Chelsea and Man City are investing in players that I feel were technically better at forward passing, more mobile, I think we're going to be stuck. I really feel like we need to make the right signing for this area, man.
Say if we get a DM, do you see Pogba moving back centrally?
Semps, I'll let you answer that one.
And this is what I was just about to say, that it's not just the player, it's about the system and what we're looking to do, how that player comes in and fits in a system. This is what I feel we've lacked with the previous signings that we've done. Sanchez being one of them. When he was bought, what system was he fitting into? So if Declan Rice comes in, then I do feel I don't feel Declan Rice works in a 4-2-3-1 as what Was was saying. So if he is going to stick with a 4-2-3-1, then maybe he does have to look at a different type of player. But for me, I like Declan Rice. Do you know what I mean? But
Okay.
I don't feel that he will fit in a 4-2-3-1. So it then comes does Pogba come into midfield, play alongside? Does he then go with maybe a 4-3-3? I don't know, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, interesting. I want to get. You know what?
Last one.
Sorry,
So it's just like it's a weird one because when you look at West Ham, they're quite a counter-attacking side, and he's partnered up with Souček. Now Souček's probably tasked with like winning the ball and just giving the ball simple. But when you see that partnership and the way West Ham play, you would expect Declan Rice to be a bit more expansive, like being like especially being partnered with Souček and knowing that he's like the better ball progressor. And I haven't really been too impressed with sort of like the expansiveness of his game. I think he's a brilliant destroyer. I think he's mobile. I think he flies in and wins the ball back. But I still have question marks about sort of like his ability to progress play and sort of
and control games, even control games.
Yeah.
He said he's a destroyer. You either want a destroyer or a controller. And I think we miss a controller because, like Was said perfectly, we don't control games. And I think this comment here is absolutely spot on from Path. I've been thinking this. I don't remember a game we've won without going down. And as soon as we score the first goal of the game, we slow down. The amount of times when we scored first this season and we hit a plateau, we get one in the first 15 minutes. Fulham's a perfect example yesterday. 50 minutes, Cavani scores, right, kick on, fans are back, get that second, get that third, kill the games off. We don't do that, and we haven't done that for a long time now. That needs to change massively. I know we could talk about that and everything, but yeah, Was, what's your thoughts on that comment? That's a great one there. Just if you can give a brief thoughts on that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that comment. I always feel like, I don't know, it's like a discipline issue because people think, we've gone ahead that now we can sit back or we can roam around. It's like the players approach that game thought, it's Fulham, they're relegated, let's take it easy. But as a Man United player, you've got to have standards for yourself. You've got to play that game. If you win it 4-0, you win it 4-0. There shouldn't be sympathy or empathy for the other club. And we scored that first one, and then even that was it was a great goal from Cavani in terms of finish, but it was a bit of a stroke of luck in terms of how it was created. And then I felt even a comment on Twitter like a half time ago, don't let the tempo drop because I've seen it too often, as the comment 100%. Mentioned, and then that's what happened, mate.
Yeah, no, I think it's bang on. I think it's something we definitely need to look at improving next season. But guys, it's been a great podcast so far. 47 minutes in. We're going to move on to a couple more topics now because I know Was, obviously, if you've got to go, by the way, just message me in a private chat and I'll obviously round it out and stuff. So I know that if you have to go, because I know, but thank you for coming on as well. So, excuse me, lost my voice there. Excuse me, but yeah, people, make sure you smashing that like and subscribe button. It's Trafford Tunnel right now. It's been a great show, by the way, great panel. People in the comments as well. I'm absolutely loving it. We've got Views TV saying what I was thinking in regards to you agreeing with 4-3-3 with a DM, Pogba and Bruno with 2 8s, a bit like how Man City have done David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne for many years that, won their multiple Premier League titles. But yeah, I want to move on to Anthony Martial. First of all, I don't know if he's going to be fit for the final. I hope he was. I hope and still wish that he can be, because I think even if he can give us 30 minutes off the bench, I think he can give us a great option. I think what we've missed and seen since even Daniel James has been gone and Martial is that we lack that depth. We lack that quality. I think it was the first time when Ollie came out last week and was like, we need to invest because the squad is just short. When we need game changers or people that can come off in the 70th minute and change it, we didn't have that. And I'm excited to hopefully see Martial back, but whether he makes it or not, we'll see. But the big one was he was omitted from the Euro squad. Now, for me, Didier Deschamps has already come out and said, if he was fit, he goes. I would take him. We've seen Thomas Lemar, Marcus Thuram picked. Like, let's be honest, Martial would have been going ahead of them. So Didier Deschamps would not select him unless he's spoken with Martial or spoken with Manchester United about how fit is he, how's his recovery. It's quite contradicting because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, yeah, Martial's trained, he's potentially going to be in the squad for the Wolves game, but then he's not going to the Euros, which say starts in 3-4 weeks time. So What's your take on him being omitted from the squad? Not in terms of, because he's not good enough, because it's not that, but mentally for him, missing out on the World Cup. Now he's going to miss out on the Euros. It's that side of it, but it's also he could be rested for Manchester United and start next season. Boom. Like, I've had pre-season training. I'm ready. Was, I'll come to you first in this one. What's your take on the Martial situation?
I feel a little bit sorry for Martial this season. I thought last season he had a very good season in terms of output, in terms of goals and what he was bringing to the team, where he drops in a little, he links up play. And as a team, we can play better because often with United, with our forward players in terms of Rashford and Bruno, they're very direct. They like try to create that chance in one pass. Whereas Martial, he links up play, brings others into play, and then it's more combination play. So this season, as a fan personally, it's a bit upsetting, one for a better word, that he's dropped off. He dropped off in terms of his finishing, and his confidence went low because a lot of his shots were going straight at the keeper.
The one against City away, when that was his best performance this season.
He was having some decent chances. And normally Martial, one of his main attributes is his finishing. We always say he's composed in front of goal, how he slots it in with his side foot and so on. So I feel sorry for him. It's always like one step forward, one step back with Martial. That's how it feels. And so I don't blame Deschamps for dropping him out of the squad because that squad is an unreal squad. Even if Martial went, he'd be on the bench at best because Benzema.
Yeah, well, you got carrying Benzema back in, haven't you?
Got no chance of starting ahead of Benzema. So I feel a little sorry for him, but the game's the game.
Yeah, it is. What about you, Semps? Obviously, Martial being admitted, we thought he was going to go, but do you see it as a plus for Manchester United? Just imagine he does miss the final, because I do feel like if he's not in the Euro squad, he's likely not to play in the final because we don't want to risk having him injured again and this next minute he's out for 3 months. So let's say we put him in Cotton Wall, he comes back fit and firing next season. Do you think this will motivate him? We've got a World Cup next year in November, remember, I think, or December. So if he can get himself ready, get himself firing for August, do you think this could be like the rocket he needed up his arse?
The honest answer is I don't know. That's the honest answer. And I'll say this because I'm a big fan of Martial, as you know. But one thing that I've believed, I realized this season is I feel the problem with him is his mentality. Do you know what I mean? And that for me is, Cavani, like what we said before, when Sanchez came in, he was on fire. Now, some players may rise to that. He didn't necessarily do that. He had issues with Jose Mourinho. I won't really get onto him with that. But Cavani coming in, I would have liked to have seen a different reaction from him. His head seems to drop too early for me this season. Obviously, confidence was low. And I just don't know if he's got the mentality to say, you know what, I'm going to rise to this and come back firing, because he's a quality player, man. He brings a lot to the team, as what Was was saying. Do you know what I'm saying? There was games last season when he weren't playing, you could see that he was missed. Do you know what I'm saying? And we have missed that Martial this season in many games as well.
100%.
We have, but I just don't know. I don't know. If he then comes next season and he's on it, then I'm just like happy. But I just don't know whether we're gonna get that. And I feel that, he had a chance because he wasn't getting a look in for France. He then came back. Trump started playing him, and again he was missing chances for France as well, one-on-ones and stuff like that. So I don't know whether this is gonna totally kill his confidence or not, man. I just really don't know how he's gonna rise to it, if he is or if he isn't.
Interesting. I even had the stats up there. Obviously, this year 4 goals in the Premier League. Last year 17, I think 23 in all competitions. Everyone knows when you see I've got this in my room, I'm a Martial fan. He's my favourite player at the club. I just think, I say it every time on every show I go on. If you put Manchester United's attack in a game and you say, right, every single one of you are going to play to your maximum performance, he's the best attacker for me. He's the most complete forward we've got in terms of linking up play, finishing on his day, like Was said. I know he's been unfortunate this year, but let's talk about in general. Finishing the best, hold up play, brilliant. Rashford can't hold up the ball. Greenwood can't. We saw when we played Arsenal at home and we got done 1-0. We could not keep the ball up top at all. Dribbling, he's a great dribbler. Obviously, he's put on a bit of muscle and everything. But I just feel like if all our attackers are performing well, he's the best. And when Martial plays well, Was, he made a great point. When Martial plays well, Manchester United play well because he connects it all. He does. He drops in the pockets a bit like how Kane does, but he's also got the ability to spin off and run in behind. And I feel like that performance against Man City this season when we beat them was Martial at his best, apart from not scoring when he had that chance 1-on-1. But if anything could salvage his career, which I think reminded Ollie of how good he can be, it was that performance. I was worried about him because remember, he had a fitness test before that game. And when Ollie threw him in my head, I was thinking, is this like Ollie throwing him in saying, right, you better play well. And if you don't, you're done because you're under pressure. And I thought he's put in a half-fit Martial and he played sensational. And that, I think, has saved him going into next season. And I hope that he can really come back. I think we've got him and Cavani rotating up top. We've got Greenwood who can play on the right, also play up top. We've got Rashford who can play left. Not really a striker, not really a right winger, so he has to play on the left. I just think we've got good options. And I hope Martial can really, really come back to what he did 2 seasons ago. Mark, I was chatting to you yesterday and you said to me, simple as this, Martial next season, make or break. Do you stand by that? Why do you think that is?
Agree.
I stand by the fact because as a Manchester United player, a lot of people aren't afforded the luxury of staying for like 5 or 6 years and not being consistent and sort of like giving you like a 6 out of 10 one season and then 8 out of 10 and then back to a 4 out of 10. I feel like when you're a Man United player, the standards are set very high and you've got to meet them. So I feel like even though like Martial's like sort of like showing us like good performances in the past, I feel like now he's 25. We can't afford to say he's developing or he's talking about potential. It's now or never really because you don't often get 5 or 6 years at Man United being an attacker. Like it's either you perform or you're out of the door. And I feel like now we're approaching the stage where like we need to know what are we getting with Anthony Martial? Are we gonna get like 6 months, 4 months of decent form, or are we gonna get a full 11, 12 months where we know he's going to be someone that contributes heavily to our success?
Do the muscular injuries for everyone here, on top of that though, because we know individually, obviously when he's on his day, he can be brilliant, but do the muscular injuries worry you lot? Because he's had quite a few thigh injuries. He's 25, put on a bit of muscle. Anyone want to, I don't mind who goes first. This is quite an open question, but is anyone worried about that?
It's a bit of a weird one because when you watch him, he doesn't look as quick as he once was under like Van Gaal. But then when you, on the flip side, he looks like he's stronger now, so he's improving his back towards goal. But I just feel like he's more susceptible to injuries now, and it's a bit frustrating because you feel like when he starts to get going, like you feel like he's gonna explode, and suddenly like he's down with an injury, and especially what happened with France, isn't it? When he went down with the knee.
Yeah, he got a brilliant assist. That game.
He's playing really well, and then he went down, and obviously it ended the season. But I just feel like we're soon approaching a time where it's just like, come on, like what is it, man? Like are you gonna show us you're the real deal, or are you gonna sort of like put it away into the distance and be like someone that could have been a good player? Well, not someone that could have been a good player, but someone that could have been really good for us.
Yeah, really good and didn't quite. Yeah, sure. And the worst thing about it for me is, I think if he leaves and goes to another club, say for example, I think PSG would suit him great. He would light it up, and I'll be like, "Why didn't you do this at Manchester United?" And everyone will be like, "Oh, why did we sell him?" And I just feel like it's one of them ones he needs to perform while he can now before we sell him, and then he has a new challenge and he shines somewhere else.
I also feel like we've kind of afforded. I don't want to say we've afforded like quite a few excuses, but I feel like as a professional, like you've got to then take it upon yourself to say, like, look, I have to perform. Do you know what I mean? All like we talk about like management positions and structure and whatnot, but there's a time where it's just like I've been here for 5, 6 years. The penny has to drop. It has to drop, otherwise I've got to go. Do you know what I mean?
One thing I'll say to that though, 15 is I think last season was really the only season, other than when he came in under Van Gaal, where he played really well.
Yeah.
Other than that, last season was the only season where he was able to really showcase it for a whole season, and he delivered. So that's why this season has then been a big disappointment for me, because I'm thinking we now need to kick on and he hasn't for whatever reasons. Now, I do feel sorry for him as well because, as we know, when you do get injured, you need some games to come back, and he's just never been on top of the confidence, like losing confidence, poor form. When he then get into any little form, he gets injured. Then he comes back. He's like, the injuries is a worry. He get injured a lot. Do you know what I mean? So then,
that's my worry.
I do agree that next season it does have to come to a point now we say, all right, we can't keep going backwards and forwards.
Yeah,
with this,
exactly.
Anthony. We can't. You need to do it now. I totally agree with that.
And it's just like you said, like it's just a massive shame because on the back of last season, I don't think anyone like foresaw what he would have done last season. But it was just like, now you've delivered that. What's the next step? Can you then become?
Yeah. Can you hit the 25 bracket?
Yeah. Can you then break the 25 barrier and become that sort of player? Like, I even remember tweeting like last year, like this is potentially the breakout point where he joins the elite strikers of the Premier League, where he starts to score consistently, and it hasn't been that, which is a big shame. So I really hope he does turn the corner. And bring it back. But,
I love that, man. We're all supporting Martial, and hopefully he can come back. And mentally, I think he's just got to show that toughness. And I think great comment here just before we go into our team for Wolves people. It's a great show, by the way. Comments have been banging. Big up CY, big up Path, big up Prozoni, big up everyone. Do you know what? Everyone in the comments, man. It's been great tonight. So thank you. He's been in double figures all night. And he says, I agree with Mark here. Haaland release clause activates next year, which is another point. So if Kane stays, we've then got Haaland as well in the market. So I think it's a big season for Martial. And remembering that he's only got 3 years left on his contract, but come next summer, that's going to be 2. He'll be 26 then, and he'll be in that position of like, do we cash in now and get the money we want? Because we'll obviously have to recoup some of that 57 million spent. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, he can come back for the final. If not, we need a fit, prime, ready Martial next season. No excuses. But guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Make sure you follow myself, Tyrone MC. You're following the Twitter channel Trafford, and make sure you're following my guests as well, who make the show so brilliant. So big up Semps, big up Sarfa 15, big up Was every single time. Guys, we're just going to go into the teams now for Wolves on Sunday. It's mad. Like, we're finally there, guys. I've got bags under my eyes. I've lost my hair this season, and then I can finally rest in a week's time, man. Oh, thank God. Hopefully this time we'll be celebrating winning the Europa League. But it's interesting because obviously what we'll do, we'll let everyone discuss their teams for a couple minutes before we wrap it up. But we're probably going to rotate because we've got a massive game against Villarreal in the final next Wednesday. So what I did, I asked the guys if they could all send me their teams and discuss what they would like to see Ollie do on the weekend. And what I loved is that every team was different. So I'm going to go straight into it. Was, I'll come to you first, and then I'll go to 15 and Semps. So let's get your team up, and you can just talk us through it and your reasons for your selections, man. Perfect. Tell me if you guys can see this as well. Is that all good? Yeah, wicked. Yeah, so what's fire away? We've got De Gea, Shaw, Twanzebe, Lindelof, Williams, Pogba, Fred in the pivot, Van der Beek in the 10 with Rashford left, Greenwood and Diallo on the right. Talk to us for your team.
Yeah, the reason I played Williams because I feel Bissaka needs that rest. I feel Bissaka's constantly playing week in, week out. He just needs that little break in a game where it doesn't really matter because we've sealed basically second place in the Premier League. Then I was wondering regarding Twanzebe and Lindelof. We've seen Bayer and Lindelof, but then we've seen Twanzebe and Lindelof. Neither partnership look convincing, so to speak. And then I was looking at the Fred and Pogba, whether he'd, because Ollie mentioned something regarding Fred and McTominay carrying knocks or something. So then, would that mean Pogba will have to play in the final as a centre mid? So then, the game against Wolves, he can obviously familiarise himself a bit more in that position. I'll rest Bruno, I'll rest Cavani, and the rest picks itself. To be honest, that's it, mate.
Nah, wicked. Thank you so much for your comments there on that team. So that's analytics team for Sunday, people. What team would you like to see? Get in the comments. Is there anyone that we put in our teams that you haven't seen that you'd like to throw in there? But please let us know. So yeah, that's the analytics team. They're nice and purple. We're gonna come to. Do you know what? Semps, I'm gonna do yours first because then it's quicker. It's in order for me. Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Go through.
Wicked. So Semps' team for Sunday against Wolves, 4:00 kickoff as well. So yeah, all good. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yep.
Wicked. So yeah, Semps, talk us through it, man.
So basically, I'm just like, we need to wrap everybody up in cotton wool. that's what I'm on. Yeah, I'm not looking to see nobody getting injured in this game, and they can't make this final because we need to win this, like, for so many reasons. So yeah, man, I think Telles needs games. Let him play. Like, he's come. We all thought that he would be the starter for Manchester United. It just so happens that Shaw said, nah.
Yeah, not
I'm not doing
today.
that. Not today. And Shaw's been playing. So Tellez, let him play. The other three is exactly the same as Waz. And yeah, man, I would play Matic, Donny, and Mata. You know, I don't know how many more times Mata's going to get to play for Manchester United. I would think that maybe this must be the end, coming to the end soon. So let him have a final run, and then give the Utes a run out. You know, Elanga, like we did against who was it the other day when we played Leicester, wasn't it? Leicester.
Yeah.
And do that again. Give them a run out. And let them have a game, man. Now the Rashford one was the one that I was saying to you that I was
striker.
Yeah, so I'll give you my reasons, yeah, and you know me, I'm very controversial at the best of times. Now, for me, yeah, he's going to play 4-2-3-1 in the final. We all know that Pogba is going to play on the left, and I believe Rashford on the right hand side is trash. So I'm just like, there's no point in playing him there. Like, this is a final. Now I know Rashford will play the final, but for me, I wouldn't start him in the final. I would start Mason Greenwood, and that's why I've gone with playing him in this game, because I'm like, let me rest Greenwood again, wrapping him up. I don't want you getting injured, and I would like to see Greenwood start on the right hand side ahead of Marcus Rashford. So that's why I would let Rashford play this game, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm not saying I'm shocked. I think you know that Rashford is not great up front, but I think with a game that we've already guaranteed second, he good for him to get some minutes. I don't believe he started against Fulham. I might be wrong.
He came
no,
on.
he didn't.
He came on.
There you go. Yes, he's fresh.
Yeah.
He's fresh and ready. So yeah, man, it'll be all good. With him starting up front, and then we'll have to see what Ollie does, especially next week against Villarreal. 15.
One other thing, though, just to say as well, is the team did play on Tuesday. That was the last time they played. And then, so for me, in my head, I'm thinking for them to have like a week's rest is not it's not like, because these games are coming thick and fast. Sometimes it looks like, they need to play rhythm and play again. They're just having a week's rest. So I think it's quite okay for them all to miss that game and then come back fresh for the final, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. Couple of comments here as well. Got Rashford should be rested all day long. He's wasted on the right. And then we've got one for you, Mark. We're going to come to the team saying, knowing Mark, he still won't pick Williams.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy or girl? Like, they know me quite well.
You need to find out. They hit you up in the DMs, man.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, let's get to your team then. The people are, they're interested to see. Big up Semps as well and Was on their team selections. So yeah, let's get straight into 15s, man. It's very interesting though. I like it because everyone's gone for different selections, and that's why I do like this topic. I don't normally do teams as well, but I was like, you know what? Let me get everyone to send me their teams, man. Oh look, I didn't even change Mark's team. It's all in white people, white delight tonight.
No, I didn't change it myself. So like, yeah.
We can all see that though. But yeah, Mark, talk us through it, man. And you're right, by the way, Puff. He didn't pick Williams.
Listen, Williams, he's even if like Wan-Bissaka was down on like his last like deathbed or whatever, I still want to pick Williams. So yeah, with my team here, I feel like he's a bit of a madman, isn't it? Like, so I feel like because I think we haven't won in 3 games, haven't we? Yeah, we haven't won in 3 games.
Yeah, you're right. Since Maguire's been injured, we've not won.
It's not sort of the best forms. I feel like he was want to win the game, sort of. So like we have some sort of rhythm going into the final, but I feel like he doesn't want to lose the game because of just because he's rotating. So I've gone with AWB, Lindelof, Bailly, Tellez. I think VDB needs minutes, so I think he'll play.
Yeah, you've gone with Henderson as well.
Yeah, I think De Gea will play in the final. I think De Gea is
okay.
For the final.
I agree. Yeah.
I also didn't play McFred because there are doubts, and I feel like he wants to give him as much time as possible to get fit for the final.
Yeah.
I'll go with Pogba on the left, just because I feel like we need to somehow fit in VDB, Matic. I don't think he's going to rest Bruno, because I think Bruno just will demand to play.
Boy, well, when you're playing Bruno, when you've won 4-0 at Sociedad, and then you play him in the second,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Ole will give them like 60 minutes and then bring the change in.
Yeah.
So
I hear that.
I've gone with Greenwood up top because I feel like Cavani's due to start the final, and I don't feel like he's capable of playing 2 games in a week. So I feel like Cavani will be rested, and for Greenwood to play up top, I feel like Rashford needs to move to the right. I can't really see someone like Elanga or Ahmad coming in. So that's basically my team.
Yeah, interesting. It'll be good now when the team news is announced on Sunday. I'll be coming back to this.
But this wasn't what we think Ollie will do. It was what we would do, isn't it?
Oh, was it what we would do?
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. It's what we would do. Yeah,
what we would do.
I've gone with
what Ollie would do.
I think Ollie would do.
Because I agree that I don't think that the team that I picked that Ollie will play that team, but that's what I would do.
Yeah. So I went with what we would do. Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely under 23s, the under 18s, the under 12s. They can play.
I love it.
Everyone can rest. I just picked what Ollie would play.
This is my team here. I've got up in a nice little colour today. I thought I'd mix it up, give it that nighttime feel. Everyone's going into Friday feeling good. So I've gone with Henderson in goal. I think bang on with you guys, or 15. I can't remember. I think Was or Semps had De Gea in, but I've gone with Henderson in goal. I think De Gea is going to play the final. We need that experience. Also, it could be his swan song. We don't know if he's going to stay. We don't know what the situation with the keepers on 600 grand a week each, plus Romero, who needs to leave as well. But yeah, I've gone with Tellez. Luke Shaw needs the rest. We need him fit and firing for the final. I've gone with Bailly, Lindelof and Williams. I've gone with Bailly because he didn't play against Fulham. So I feel like I said to you already, if Maguire's not back, he needs to find that right partner. And I feel like Bailly, there's been a moment in this season where he played like 3 games in 9 days or 7 days. And he played well. I think he's man of the match in 2 out of the 3 of them. So for me, I know that if it's a final, he can play on a Sunday and play on a Wednesday. So I think Bailly needs to play. If he doesn't play, I don't know if he's going to come back in for the final. So yeah, Tellez, Bailly, Lindelof. I've gone with Williams. I think Wan-Bissaka, both wing backs need a rest. I've gone with Matic to come in. We know they're going to play Neves and Moutinho. They try and keep the ball a bit and counter-attack. But I think, we played Wolves last time at home, and I think we got a bit exposed on the break. And Matic and Pogba was actually the pivot, and I didn't like it. However, I just see him playing it against Wolves this week because I think they're a bit flat to the board. They're rotating and everything. So, Matic and Pogba, a bit of experience. Van der Beek needs minutes. If he's going to come on for 20 minutes of the going game, goes to extra time against Villarreal, we need options. So Van der Beek in the 10, Bruno rested. I'm going with Rashford left because he didn't start against Fulham. Greenwood up top because Cavani's going to play in the final. And I'm going with Diallo on the right. I think it's time to give Diallo a chance, When's he going to get minutes? Like I know they're saying he's a wonder kid and all that, and we know that it's second season syndrome in the Premier League, but I think we've got second now guaranteed. Give him some minutes. We don't need to risk no injuries. Like Greenwood and Rashford are going to be needed for that final. So we rest Fernandes with Van der Beek coming in, and we rest another option with Diallo in. So yeah, that's my team with a view to playing on Sunday. So yeah, guys, I don't know what team it's going to be, but what I loved is that every team was different. I've got a little comments. Let's get through a few of the comments here. Saying 15th team still wouldn't include Williams. I love it. Got Parth saying, and big up Parth, I've never seen you here in the comments. So thank you so much. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. I feel Ollie will play the same 11 he did against Leicester, just 1 or 2 changes. And then, Aston Villa period when we're at the top at the table. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do against Wolves. Hopefully, I think we, at least don't lose the game because I don't think we want to go into any final, without any win in 4 games. I think most importantly, it's shown us how important Maguire can be for us. I know he's not the best centre-back in the world, but vocally, that leadership, that sort of ball progression as well, like we've missed, I think he's important. And it's going to be quite sad if he's not back for the final. But, we've got enough quality and depth to win that next week. But
he's not bad.
Yeah, he's not playing. I don't think we're going to risk it either, especially with the Euros coming up. He's going to want to play in that as well. But it's been a great show. Honestly, the hour and 15 minutes, the time has absolutely flown. So people in the comments, first of all, I hope you've enjoyed it. We spoke on a lot of topics here. I've even got my pen and I've been writing down little minutes of great points of taken. So I'm gonna have loads of clips. So big up to you guys as guests, man. I'm gonna say Was. Obviously, I know Simpson 15, but I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I, first of all, as a host, hope you've enjoyed being on the Never Foul platform. But most importantly, shout out all your stuff. Tell the people where they can find you. And I can guarantee it now that you'll definitely be back, my man.
Yes, thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it. We could just go on all day as well.
I know, it's good, the vibe. That's what I mean. We just talk good football, man.
Yeah, even with the Martial point we made on earlier regarding he should be fit and fresh for next season. A bit of an unpopular opinion. I think Rashford shouldn't go to the Euros and for himself, and he should look after his own body and then come fresh for next season. But he won't make that sacrifice. But he should make that sacrifice, but he won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I've got a bit of a migraine and a headache today, to be honest, so I've not been full of energy, but I didn't want to miss out, so I'll just come on.
Commitment. I love that. Thank you so much. I hope you get better. But yeah, now people, make sure you follow United_analytics. Does different types of videos, shows images as well, which with the Wan-Bissaka, for example, I didn't want to talk about it. We'll go on for that forever. But with the back post situation, which he's been caught out many times this season, you've done a great little thread on that as well. So yeah, very fond of what you do and your platform. I know Simpson 15 follow you as well. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, one big United family. People in the comments, the guests as always. And Semps, I'll come to you, man. Like you said earlier, it's you and a great team at Views. You've got Patrick and then obviously your other co-host as well. I love what you're doing at Views. I really appreciate you coming on. You know, you've got that nice crystal clear camera today, so you come through nice and fresh. But do you know what? It's a pleasure getting you on every show, man. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and tell the people where they can find you. Plug it all.
Yeah, man. Always enjoy coming up on here. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the link up on the 26th of June as well. I don't know if anybody else, Mark or Was, is going to be there. It would be good to see you lot down there as well.
Need to sort that all out over next weekend, actually.
But yeah, man, you can find me on Twitter at LSemps. That's my personal. And Views TV Official is my football podcast that I have as well.
Wicked. Make sure people, like I said, if you can follow myself, Tyron MC, Tunnel Trafford, Never a Foul, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. You can do the same for Was, Semps, and Sarfo. It's all free, and we're all here just enjoying football, man. And 15, come over to you. Got that beard there, you got the hairline coming like a ruler. Round it out for me, man. Tell the people where they can find you, man.
So my Twitter handle is Sarfo15. It should be across there. But you guys will catch me on a few more of these shows. Thank you for having me, Ty. Semps, good to catch up with you. Obviously, we will catch up in the near future. Hold tight, Views, Jason, Patrick, everyone. Was, love your stuff on the timeline. So yeah, we'll all chop up sooner or later.
Wicked, man. That was a great podcast tonight, man. Like I say for myself, thank you so much for joining me, man. Without you guys, it's not a show. Without the people in the comments, and I love this one. I saved this till last. Don't worry, Path. I will follow you back. Don't draw me out, man. Sorry, I apologize. Don't worry, I'll do that straight away, man. Send me a DM so I definitely see it though, so I don't forget. Send me a DM, just so I remember. But this one here,
let me know who you are. We got to
let me know, man. But this comment here just sums it up how great the show was, guys. It's 2 a.m. here. And I'm getting caffeine and I'm watching this podcast. You know what? That's commitment. I love that. So wherever you are, Path,
energy.
You know what? Yeah, man. Like that's what makes it so worth it, man. So I definitely appreciate it. And I'm glad that we can give you a good podcast and great views as well. But guys, you've been watching the Trafford Tunnel, part of Never a Foul. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to be back next week as well. We're going to do a few bits and bobs for the final. So hopefully we can get that first trophy for Ollie. And on that note, everyone, have a blessed weekend. Let's hope the weather improves.